4 picks against Grossman and 2 fumbles. What do you see about the Bears that would shut them down that way?
No, we just the Bears are what we thought they were. They're what we thought they were.
This is Dennis Green, head coach of the Arizona Cardinals, in the middle of one of the most infamous rants in NFL history. We may look back at this now with humor, but at the time, there was nothing funny about the frustration that Green was feeling. The Cardinals had just suffered one of the most painful losses in franchise history, blowing a massive lead on Monday Night Football against the Chicago Bears. Green, a veteran head coach with a long career in football, had reached a breaking point, and what followed was an all-time classic post-game meltdown. But how did we get here? Who is Dennis Green, and what led to this epic moment of frustration? In this video, we'll take a look back at all of that and so much more. I'm Omer Q for Real Take Sports. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe. This is the Real Take Meltdown. Dennis Green, born in 1949 in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, built a very well-respected career in pro football. A former running back at the University of Iowa, Green shifted into coaching almost immediately after college, showing early signs of leadership and creativity that would go on to define his pro football career. Green rose steadily through the college ranks, earning national attention when he became one of the first black head coaches in Division I football at Northwestern in 1981. Though the program struggled throughout his tenure, Green's presence and approach broke barriers and earned him a reputation as a motivator and leader. His next stop was Stanford University, where Green's offensive mind truly took shape. Serving 2 stints there, he coached players like John Elway and developed a reputation for developing quarterbacks specifically, designing modern passing concepts we still see today, cultivating discipline while still keeping his players motivated and engaged with the game. His success at Stanford made him one of the most sought-after offensive minds in the country and would go on to pave his way into the NFL. Green took over the Minnesota Vikings in 1992, becoming one of the first black head coaches in the league at the time, and immediately went on to transform the organization. His leadership style, demanding but fair and always relentlessly prepared, made his players fiercely loyal to him and became a defining part of the Vikings' identity. From 1992 to 2001, the Vikings saw 8 playoff appearances in 10 years, 4 NFC Central titles, a franchise-best 15-1 record in 1998, a streak of 10 consecutive winning seasons, and the rise of one of the NFL's most prolific offense. Throughout that time, Green's teams were known for their explosiveness and adaptability. From the early 90s squads that boasted the likes of Jim McMahon and Warren Moon to the late-decade aerial attack under the likes of Randall Cunningham and Chris Carter, the Vikings were regularly a top NFL offense, and that 1998 team that I mentioned that went 15-1 may have been the cherry on top. To be clear, the 1998 Minnesota Vikings weren't just good. They were one of the most explosive teams the NFL has ever seen. Under Dennis Green's offense, Minnesota finished 15-1, tied for the best regular season ever at the time. Their offense shattered NFL single-season records for points, averaging 34.8 points per game, and ranked number 1 in scoring and total offense, and number 2 in passing. Led by the rejuvenated Randall Cunningham, Hall of Famer Chris Carter, and then rookie phenomenon Randy Moss, who scored 17 touchdowns, the most ever by a first-year player, the Vikings overwhelmed defenses across the country with unmatched speed and vertical passing. Their point differential, plus 260, and offensive efficiency still ranks towards the top in league history today. However, despite their dominance, the season ended in heartbreak with an overtime loss to Atlanta in the NFC Championship game, a stunning finish to what many consider to be the greatest team that never reached a Super Bowl. But the story doesn't end there. Despite the regular season excellence, Green faced criticism for not breaking through to the Super Bowl. The Minnesota Vikings reached the NFC Championship game twice under his leadership, both in 98 and 2000, both leading to heartbreaking losses, especially that 1998 overtime defeat to Atlanta. and this fueled heavy scrutiny both from fans and the media. Green's final year of 2001 was marred by injuries, off-the-field challenges with the organization, leading to a 5-10 record before he was dismissed prior to the season finale. The Vikings ownership at the time sought to reset nearly a decade with the same leadership structure, even though Green remained to be one of the more respected voices in the league. After leaving Minnesota, Green took a brief hiatus from coaching before returning in 2004 to lead the Arizona Cardinals. And speaking of those Cardinals, the Cardinals really were in need of a leading man at the helm. From 1988 to 2003, they reached the playoff just once and posted only one winning season. Coaching changes came and went, the team never found a true franchise QB, and the offensive line was consistently one of the worst in the league. Even talented stars like Anquan Boldin couldn't lift the team out of the basement. And all of that was happening while the Cardinals were playing at Sun Devil Stadium, a college football venue known for its brutal heat, spotty attendance, and virtually no home field advantage. After a 4-12 season in 2003, ownership knew they needed to make massive roster changes and also needed a core identity. That's when they turned to Dennis Green, one of the most successful and innovative minds of the 1990s. His job on paper was pretty simple: turn around one of the NFL's most historically struggling franchises. Would he succeed? In his first year at the helm, Green and the Cardinals went 6-10, a pretty expected outcome as the team was looking to rebuild from virtually nothing. However, it was after the 2005 season that the pressure seemed to get a little bit more intense on Dennis Green. They had finished the 2005 season at 5-11, and improvements were needed if Green was expected to keep his job. And going into the 2006 season, the Cardinals got to work at changing the look of the entire team. They had just drafted quarterback Matt Leinart, one of the most decorated players in college football history. They signed veteran running back Edgerrin James, a superstar coming off of back-to-back Pro Bowl seasons in Indianapolis. And after playing years outdoors in the blistering heat, the team finally moved into a modern home, their brand new stadium in Glendale, Arizona. On paper, it looked like they had everything they needed to finally turn things around. But once the game started, the same old problems came back pretty fast. Missed blocks, turnovers, blown leads, and by week 6, the Arizona Cardinals were sitting at 1-4, and the pressure on Dennis Green was building. Still, there was hope. Leinart had just taken over as the starting quarterback, and in prime time against the undefeated 5-0 Chicago Bears, the Cardinals had a chance to change their story. From the opening kickoff, the Cardinals punched Chicago in the mouth. Matt Leinart was on fire to begin the game, throwing 2 touchdowns in the first quarter, one to Bryant Johnson and the other to Leonard Pope, looking every bit the Heisman winner that Arizona believed they had just drafted. The defense was also flying out, forcing turnovers, creating pressure, and the brand new stadium was shaking. By halftime, the Cardinals were leading 20-0 over the NFL's hottest team. An upset didn't just feel possible, it felt inevitable. But then everything changed in the second half. The Bears began to rally, but not with their offense. In fact, Chicago never scores an offensive touchdown the entire night. Instead, it was the Cardinals that self-destructed. First, Mike Brown scoops up a Leinart fumble and takes it to the house. Then, Charles Peanut Tillman does the exact same thing, returning another fumble for a score. Suddenly, the lead felt like it was slipping, and the stadium's energy began to crack. But the real dagger came on special teams. With the Cardinals clinging on to a 6-point lead late in the fourth quarter, rookie sensation Devin Hester fields a punt at his own 17-yard line, and in a matter of seconds, the Arizona Cardinals' improbable lead vanishes. Chicago goes up 24-23, completing a comeback powered entirely by their defense and special teams. However, despite the 6 turnovers, Arizona still had a chance. Leinart led a drive down the field, setting up veteran kicker Neil Rackers for a 41-yard attempt to win the game. The stadium held its breath, The kick went up, however, it sailed wide left, and the Cardinals would go on to lose. The Bears improved to 6-0, surviving a game where their offense never found the end zone. The Cardinals dropped to 1-5 with their season spiraling and the pressure on Green reaching its peak. And in the post-game press conference, Green faced the media, visibly frustrated, seething with anger, and in that moment, it's almost as if that very same pressure came out in the NFL's most memorable rant.
4 picks against Grossman and 2 fumbles. What do you see about the Bears would shut them down that way?
No, we just the Bears are what we thought they were. They're what we thought they were. We played them in preseason. Who the hell takes a third game in the preseason like it's bull? We played them in the third game. Everybody played 3 quarters. The Bears are who we thought they were. And that's why we took the damn field. Now, if you want to crown them, then crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook.
Thanks, Coach.
The Cardinals never recovered from that loss. They went on to finish the season 5-11. Dennis Green was fired at the end of the year. His time in Arizona didn't bring any of the success that people had hoped for. And 2 years later, under Ken Whisenhunt, the Arizona Cardinals made their first ever Super Bowl appearance, falling to the 2008 Pittsburgh Steelers. So what do you think about Dennis Green's legendary rant? Where does it rank amongst your all-time coaching meltdowns? Let me know what your favorite post-game rant is in the comment section below. If you like this video, be sure to smash that thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another video. Until next time, I'm Omer Q for Real Take Sports. Be happy, be healthy, and as always, keep it real.